I stared at my bank account balance in disbelief. $0. 5 years of savings for my dream car. $175,000. Gone in a single transaction. The description read, Luxury Motors, purchase. Below it was a text from my brother Michael. Thanks for the car fund, sis. Dad gave me your account info since we share everything as family. Hope you don't mind. I finally got my Lamborghini. Smiling face with sunglasses. My hands shook as I dialed my father's number. He answered on the first ring, his voice casual as if he hadn't just participated in theft. Sarah, I was wondering when you'd call. Look, Michael needed that car for his image as a successful realtor. You understand, right? You can always save up again. Dad, that was my money. My savings. How could you give him my account information? Oh, honey, he chuckled, that patronizing sound I'd grown to hate. You were just going to waste it on some practical car anyway. Michael knows how to make a statement. Besides, he's the one carrying on the family business. He needs to look successful. I ended the call, my mind already racing with possibilities. While my father and brother were busy congratulating themselves on their cleverness, they'd forgotten one crucial detail. I wasn't just some corporate accountant with a savings account. I was the CFO of Phoenix Investment Group, one of the largest private equity firms in the city. And Luxury Motors? They'd been struggling financially for months. Something I knew intimately since they'd approached my firm for investment just last week. My phone buzzed again. Michael sending a photo of himself with his new matte black Lamborghini Aventador. Thanks again, sis. Don't worry, I'll let you sit in it sometime. Face blowing a kiss. I forwarded the photo to my assistant, Rebecca. Remember that struggling dealership we passed on last week? Call them back. I've changed my mind. The one asking for $5 million in emergency funding? She asked. That's the one. Set up a meeting for tomorrow morning. And Rebecca? Pull everything you can find on their finances. Every debt, every lien, every overdue payment. Already on it, she replied. Also, your brother just posted about his new car on Instagram. He tagged you, best sister ever, giving up her savings so I could live my dream. Want me to respond? No need, I smiled, looking at the dealership's desperate loan application on my desk. I'll respond in person. Very, very soon. The next morning I walked into Luxury Motors wearing my best Armani suit. The owner, James Davidson, practically ran to greet me. Ms. Roberts. We didn't expect. After your firm declined. Let's talk in your office, I cut him off smoothly. I've reconsidered your situation. Once seated in his office, I laid out my terms. Phoenix Investment Group will provide $10 million in funding. Twice what you asked for. In exchange, we want 51% ownership and immediate management control. Davidson's eyes widened. That's very generous. But why the sudden interest? I glanced out his window, spotting my brother's new Lamborghini still sitting in the delivery area. Let's just say I've developed a personal interest in your inventory management practices. 3 hours later, I walked out of Luxury Motors as its majority owner. Davidson looked shell-shocked. He'd just sold control of his family business for a rescue package he desperately needed. He had no idea he'd just helped me set up the perfect revenge. My phone buzzed. Michael again, having lunch at that expensive place downtown. Want to see your investment in action? Winking face. I texted Rebecca. Start phase 2. And get me every detail of my brother's financing agreement with the dealership. Her response came quickly. Already done. He barely qualified for the loan. One missed payment and we can repossess. Perfect. Michael had always been terrible with money, relying on our father to bail him out of every financial mistake. But Dad's real estate business had been struggling lately, something else they didn't know I knew. I watched through the dealership windows as the staff changed the signage to reflect the new ownership. Phoenix Luxury Motors. My brother's precious Lamborghini sat gleaming in the sunlight, bought with my stolen savings. But not for long. Because sometimes revenge isn't just about getting even. It's about teaching a lesson about taking what isn't yours. And I was about to give my brother the most expensive lesson of his life. Rebecca, I called, walking to my car. Schedule a board meeting for next week. And find out everything you can about my father's real estate business. I think Phoenix Investment Group might be interested in that market too. After all, why stop at taking back a car when you can take back everything? 2 months after acquiring luxury motors, I sat in my new office overlooking the showroom floor, watching the daily operations of my latest acquisition. The dealership had been transformed, new management, streamlined processes, and most importantly, a new policy on financial documentation. My phone lit up with another Instagram notification from Michael. Living the dream. Best decision ever, taking Sis's savings. #Lumbalife, #blessed by family. I smiled, reviewing the file on my desk. Michael's first payment on the Lamborghini was due tomorrow. A payment I knew he couldn't make. His real estate commissions had dried up since I'd quietly acquired his largest client's portfolio through one of Phoenix's subsidiaries. Ms. Roberts. Rebecca entered with the morning reports. Your brother just called the dealership. He's requesting a payment extension. How many days of grace period does his contract allow? I asked, already knowing the answer. None. You specifically rewrote the financing terms after the acquisition. One missed payment triggers immediate repossession. I nodded, picking up a familiar document, the repo order I'd had prepared weeks ago. And my father's business? Phoenix Real Estate Holdings now controls 60% of the commercial properties his firm manages. He doesn't know it yet, but most of his clients will be receiving new management contracts next week. The intercom buzzed, security downstairs. Ms. Roberts, your brother is here. He's rather agitated. Send him up, I instructed, straightening my designer suit. And Rebecca? Stay close. I want a witness for this. Michael burst into my office, his usually perfect hair disheveled. Sarah. Thank God you're here. There must be some mistake. The dealership says they can't extend my payment deadline, but Dad always arranged that with the previous owner and... He trailed off, finally taking in my surroundings. The large office. The nameplate reading Sarah Roberts, CEO Phoenix Luxury Motors. The framed photo behind my desk showing me signing the dealership's acquisition papers. What is this? He stammered. This. I gestured around the office. This is what happens when you steal from someone who actually knows how to manage money. You bought the dealership? 2 months ago. Right after you emptied my savings account to buy your dream car. I opened his file. A car, by the way, that you can no longer afford. His face paled. Look, about the payment. I'm just a little short this month. Dad will cover it. Dad can't cover anything. I cut him off. Phoenix Investment Group now controls most of his client portfolio. His commission checks will be rather light this quarter. You can't do this, he protested. We're family. Family. I stood up slowly. Like when you stole my savings. When Dad gave you my account information because family shares everything? I pressed the intercom. Send up the repo team. Michael's eyes widened as 2 uniformed officers entered. Sis, please. That car is everything. My image, my career. Your career was built on stolen money and Dad's connections. Both of which are now gone. I handed him the repo order. The car will be auctioned next week. As the dealership owner, I'll recover my stolen savings plus interest. I'll sue, he threatened weakly. With what money? What lawyer? I smiled coldly. Besides, I have documentation showing you unauthorized access to my account. Would you prefer I press criminal charges instead? The repo officers stepped forward and Michael's shoulders slumped in defeat. How long have you been planning this? Since the moment you thought stealing from me was acceptable. I walked to the window, watching as his precious Lamborghini was hooked up to the tow truck. While you were busy showing off your stolen car, I was buying the dealership, acquiring Dad's client portfolio, and dismantling the safety net you've relied on your entire life. Dad will never forgive you, he tried one last time. Dad will be too busy trying to save his own company to worry about your car problems. I turned back to face him. By the way, that practical car I was saving for? It's being delivered this afternoon. Paid for with the profits from my company. You know, the one you and Dad always dismissed as my little investment hobby. As security escorted him out, I called after him. Oh, and Michael? Next time you want to steal someone's savings? Make sure they don't have the resources to buy everything you care about. Through my office windows, I watched my brother standing on the sidewalk, staring helplessly as his dream car was towed away. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking back what's yours. It's taking everything they thought they could never lose. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Dad. We need to talk. What have you done? No, I typed back. We need to discuss your role in theft of my savings. My lawyers will be in touch. Dad, better start looking for new clients. Because sometimes teaching a lesson about family and trust requires showing them exactly how much they have to lose. 1 month after the repossession, I sat in the main showroom of Phoenix Luxury Motors, watching as my brother's former Lamborghini was brought in for the exclusive auction. The car had been detailed to perfection, its matte black finish gleaming under the showroom lights. My phone buzzed with a series of desperate texts from Michael. Please sis, I can get the money. Dad's talking to his investors. You can't auction my car. I smiled, remembering his laughter when he'd stolen my savings. Now he was about to watch as his dream car was sold to the highest bidder, and I'd made sure he had a front row seat. Ms. Roberts. Rebecca approached with the final auction preparations. Your father and brother have both arrived. Security has seated them in the front row as requested. Perfect. And the other arrangements? All set. We've invited every major real estate client your father lost, plus several local business reporters. The story of how his son bought a Lamborghini with stolen money is already circulating. I nodded, adjusting my Chanel suit. And the special surprise? The documents are ready. Would you like me to distribute them before or after the auction? After, I decided. Let them watch their precious car sell first. The auction room filled quickly, wealthy buyers, industry players, and most importantly, everyone who'd ever enabled my brother's entitled behavior. I spotted my father in the front row, his once confident posture now slouched with defeat. Beside him, Michael kept his eyes fixed on his former car, as if he could somehow will it back into his possession. At exactly noon I took the podium. Welcome to Phoenix Luxury Motors exclusive auction. Today's featured vehicle has an interesting history. A tale of theft, family betrayal, and consequences. My father shifted uncomfortably in his seat as I continued. This Lamborghini Aventador was purchased with stolen funds, specifically, $175,000 taken from my personal savings through unauthorized account access. Rather than press criminal charges, I chose a more instructive approach. The audience murmured as I detailed how I'd acquired the dealership, engineered the repossession, and systematically dismantled my family's financial safety nets. Bidding will start at $250,000, I announced. And yes, I see you reaching for your phone, Dad. Don't bother calling your investors. Phoenix Investment Group now controls your company's debt notes too. The auction proceeded rapidly. Rich collectors, sensing the drama, bid enthusiastically. Michael watched, tears in his eyes, as his dream car's price climbed higher and higher. Finally the hammer fell. $475,000 to the gentleman in the back. As the audience applauded, Rebecca began distributing envelopes to select attendees. My father opened his with trembling hands, then went pale. This, he stammered, this is a complete audit of my company's finances. Yes, I confirmed, stepping down from the podium. Including evidence of tax evasion, misappropriated client funds, and various other creative accounting practices. The SEC will receive their copy tomorrow. Michael jumped up. You can't destroy Dad's company. I'm not destroying anything, I replied calmly. I'm exposing what you both destroyed through years of entitlement and theft. The audit just makes it official. I walked over to them, enjoying how they shrank back slightly. By the way, remember that little investment hobby you both mocked? Phoenix Investment Group now controls the majority of real estate holdings in this city. Your clients haven't left you, Dad. They just have a new landlord. What do you want? My father asked quietly. Name your price. Price. I laughed softly. This isn't about money. This is about consequences. You taught Michael that stealing from family was acceptable. That my hard work was worth less than his desires. Now you both get to learn how expensive those lessons can be. Rebecca approached with another document, the final piece of my revenge. The board of directors has approved the acquisition of Roberts Real Estate. Your father's company is now a subsidiary of Phoenix Investment Group. My father's face crumpled as he realized the full extent of his defeat. Not only had he lost his clients and reputation, but his company now belonged to the daughter he'd helped steal from. The new management team starts Monday, I informed him. You'll both be offered entry-level positions. After all, family helps family, right? As security began clearing the room, Michael made one last attempt. The car. At least tell me who bought it. I smiled, holding up the buyer's paddle I'd had Rebecca use. I did. It'll look perfect next to my new Porsche, the one I bought with my own money from my own dealership. Walking out of the showroom, I paused by my brother's former car. Oh, and Michael? I'm having it repainted. Hot pink. I think it'll make quite a statement when I drive it to board meetings. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking back what's yours. It's making them watch as you transform their dreams into your trophies. My phone buzzed one final time, a text from an unknown number. Ms. Roberts? My brother stole my inheritance. I heard you might understand. I smiled, thinking of the empire I'd built from stolen savings and wounded pride. Meet me tomorrow, I replied. I'll teach you how to turn theft into triumph. Because in the end, the greatest victory isn't just in recovering what was stolen. It's in building something so magnificent that those who stole from you have to spend the rest of their lives watching your success from the sidelines. And that hot pink Lamborghini? It now sits in my dealership's front window with a simple plaque. Never steal from someone who knows your weakness. They might just buy it and paint it pink,